Our next comedian, we're going to jump off the walls, bounce off the ceiling, jokers cracking wise, Weisenheimer's on the up and up, hooligans on the straight and narrow, Dames flipping her lids, there ain't no stopping us. Go crazy for Jill Dickens.
Hello! You guys are awesome! I love the laughter over here. I'm Jill Dickens, and my motto in life has always been to try anything once. Well, it's kind of like that still. As I get older, I've changed it to I'll try anything that turns on the lights. or doesn't involve a submarine. Or doesn't affect my butt. I'm the youngest of 6 kids, and growing up I was tortured, just picked on left and right. So I had to learn at a young age how to fend for myself. Like when I was 4 years old. When I was 4, I got a brand new sweater for Christmas. It was all white, it had the fur on the collar and the cuff, and I was styling. I looked good. So I had to go down and tell my best friend Meg. As I get to her house, her older brother, Nigel, stops me at the bottom of the driveway. Meg's not home. You can get out of here now. I just kept walking towards the door. No, scram! And then he grabbed a handful of hay, shoved it down my sweater, and knocked me on the ground. I looked up at him, and he looked down at me, and then he pointed and laughed. And not the good laugh like y'all's laugh, an evil laugh, like So I was pissed, and I ran out of there straight to my house, into my garage where I got a tire iron. And I reached for it, but I was only 4 and it was heavy, so it was going all over the place. And I was so focused on revenge, basically, that I didn't notice that my dad was behind me. And I turned around and knocked him right in the balls. He scooped me up and took me to my mom and said, "Your daughter crushed my gonads. Take her away from me." And so she did. She took me straight to my room where I was lectured about what not to do with a man's crotchal area. And I was also put on restriction for ruining my sweater. Yeah, I know, that saved Nigel's life, but it didn't save his balls. Because the next time I saw him, I punched him right in the dick. And so the moral of that story is, don't pick on chicks who punch dicks. Now, when I was about 16, I had mellowed out. I wasn't a serial killer or anything. But I still had the motto that was going pretty strong about me trying anything once. And so when I was asked to house sit for a night, I immediately said yes. And then called my best friend Jeff, and then went and picked up some snacks. Fritos, bean dip, and powdered donuts. And Jeff also brought some goodies. He brought weed and shrooms and a chick named Sue. And the first thing they did when they came in was they lit my very first joint. And it knocked me right on my butt. So we were all sitting on the ground, looking at this amazing record collection. There must have been 3,000 albums in there, and we were pulling them out left and right, just seeing what we wanted to listen to. And Sue said, "Frank Zappa! I've got to hear some Frank Zappa!" And internally, I was going, hell no! Frank Zappa sucks! Let's play some Led Zeppelin. But externally, all I could say was, dude. So we listened to that damn record, and we watched it go around and around on that record player as we ate our powdered donuts. And then Sue said, I have to poop. And the powder went straight from her mouth like a gust of snow onto that record. And then it started skipping, and we freaked out. So we started blowing on it, and we had donuts in our mouths, so we made quite the mess. So Sue took off to the bathroom, and Jeff unplugged the stereo, and I just sat there like a statue. What the fuck are we gonna do? Dude, why don't we just put them away as is and hope that they never find it? And so that's what we did. We put it away, and I never heard of them finding it, so that actually worked. Then Sue comes down the hallway, and she announces, well, I think I pooped out my eye. It's time for some shrooms. Let me tell you about shrooms. They taste nasty. So it's a really good thing that I brought that bean dip. So for about a half an hour after we ate them, Jeff and Sue were arguing that we got a bad batch. But I just kicked back and watched them turn into colorful puddles on the couch. And I was enjoying myself immensely until we started hearing dogs bark. And that harshed my mellow. So we ran out to the backyard to see what was up, and we flew the door open, and standing there in front of us were 15 to 20 mature marijuana plants. And they were beautiful. And they were colorful in the breeze and swaying in the wind. And so we swayed with them until we forgot why we were out there and went back inside. And that's about when I passed out. When I woke up, Jeff and Sue were gone. And the owner came home. He thanked me and paid me and sent me on my way. But unfortunately for him, the very next day, all of his plants were stolen. And I think it was Sue. So the moral of that story is, don't have a 16-year-old. Guard your weed, or you're gonna get sued. Thank you. I'm